In this session, we will be revealing a little-known data trick which 8-figure Amazon sellers are using to steal sales from their competitors. And our guest today is Chris Rawlings. Hello, Chris. Let me bring you on stage. Hi.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, it's nice to have you again for another video. And,
yeah, man. Do you remember 2017 when I was on your first ever virtual webinar?
Yeah, I think it was 2016 in
16,
December.
Oh.
I remember it was on Sunday, a webinar, and it was like the first one we did, and I did.
Yeah, it was on the weekend. Yeah, I was in Bali. I was streaming it from Bali.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's do a nice session today, and we will be talking about a lot of good things which Amazon sellers can implement and
yes.
use.
Yeah, it's going to be, today we're going over a pretty epic topic. It's a way for sellers to steal sales from their competitors without paying for more traffic, any PPC traffic whatsoever, just redirecting sales that would have gone to them over to you. And it's using a data hack, like a data loophole that Amazon sort of accidentally gave sellers. You have to process their data, which we're going to do. It only takes a couple minutes, like 5-10 minutes. We're going to do it live in a demo today together. And then you have to use that data to make changes that then redirect sales from the competitors to you. And I'll show you guys exactly how to do it. If everyone listening to this actually acts on this, which in my experience, only like about 10 to 20% of people actually do who exist. So probability is that you watching this probably are the one that somebody else is taking sales from, not going to take sales. Sorry, that's just the reality. But the few of you, I'm talking to the few of you who are actually going to do this, you guys are going to increase your sales by between 10 and 40% for the ASIN that you do this on. If you do it the way that I lay it out in this little session that we're going to do here. So it's a high leverage use of your time. I'd highly recommend like turning the phone upside down and turning off all the Chrome tabs, because you could, starting today, start getting 10 to 40% more sales on one of your higher selling ASINs.
Amazing intro to the speech. And Chris, maybe introduce yourself, who you are, why you're talking this.
Right. Forgot about that. I glossed over that. Yeah, my name's Chris Rawlings. I'm the CEO and founder of Sophie Society. And I partner with brands to take over their PPC and grow them profitably. I've been doing this for a super long time. I'm one of the top spenders on the Amazon marketplace in terms of PPC monthly ad spend. I'm a seller myself, have been for over 10 years. So yeah, and I've been involved in different masterminds and investment groups and advisory boards and things like that in this space for a really long time. So I've literally helped thousands of brands scale, some of which I had equity in, some of which I didn't. And so because of that, I have access to a very large amount of data from sellers in every category, brands in every category. And I can see trends and see what's working, also see what the fastest growing and biggest brands are doing. In fact, the biggest exit in Amazon brand history, which was a $610 million exit of Zesty Paws, only 6 years after founding by AJ Patel. The founder, AJ, was also a former client of mine. So I've just been in this space for a really long time. I've worked with a lot of the fastest growing brands in the industry. And so I say all that to just say that what I'm going to go over in this session now is actually works. We do it. We do it with our brands. We do it with our portfolio brands. It works really well. Some of the biggest and fastest growing brands in the industry do this process to take more sales, that from the pie, the zero-sum game of Amazon search volume, get more of it to your listing. So
all right. Perfect. Amazing. So while you're preparing your screen to share, because we will do some live demos and a few slides, I wanted to mention everyone, if you have questions, if you are watching a live stream, you can leave those questions in the live chat and Chris will address them later. Or if you're watching the replay, you can type your questions in the comment section below and we will ask Chris to respond to those questions as well. And if you enjoy the video at some point, don't forget to click like and subscribe buttons below. So we have a Chris screen, and I think we're ready to start the
Yep.
bombing of values.
All right, let's rock. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm just going to start from exactly the step-by-step of what you do, and then we'll get into why this works and stuff, but I'm going to walk through the actual process. So the concept high level, if I go to Amazon, right, and I search toothpaste, so a set number of people are doing this search every month. You don't create more demand on Amazon. There's a set amount. If this search term gets 150,000 searches a month, that's all the searches that there are. And from those searches, people are either clicking on your thumbnail or competitors' thumbnails. And there are ways to get more clicks on your thumbnail, the primary way of which is PPC, where you pay to get to the top of search results, or you pay to insert yourself in the middle of search results here. That's called top of search and rest of search, right? But there's another way to get more clicks from the set amount of searches every month. And that's a key concept here, is that you just can't create more demand on Amazon. You don't have any effect, zero effect whatsoever on the total number of searches. It's a zero-sum game. Those 150,000 searches each month, the clicks are either going to you or your competitors. You're either getting 0.1% of those clicks, or 0.5% of those clicks, or 2% of those clicks. Whatever the number is, the more you get, the less your competitors get. The more they get, the less you get. It's a zero-sum game, like a pizza. Like if I have 8 slices of a pizza and I'm sharing it with 10 people, 2 people aren't going to get a slice. That it is what it is. There's only so many slices. You can't create more pizza. So it's not like, this whole manifestation, world of abundance type of atmosphere out there on the Amazon platform. It's not abundance, it's scarcity. There are only so many searches per month. There are only so many clicks, and you do not create more demand. So just starting from that framework, what we're going to go through right now is a process for getting more of those clicks to you from other people. So it means less for the competitors, more for you, which doesn't sound like, attitude of abundance, entrepreneur type of speak, but this is the reality. This is just how it is. It's dog eat dog on the Amazon marketplace. More clicks for you means less for the competitors. So either someone is doing this to you and your sales are being hurt by this, but you just don't even know it. You just see a slow decline, or you see your ACOS going up, or whatever. You don't know why. And maybe you blame it on Chinese, low cost sellers or whatever, but really a very smart competitor is likely just doing this process to you. Or you can do it and take more sales for yourself. And that is the game of competition. There are winners and there's losers. So now that I've done a little teaser, I'm going to get into the process itself. So in Seller Central, to get access to this data, you click the hamburger menu, you go down to brands and click brand analytics. Once you're in brand analytics, you're going to go to search analytics and go to search query performance. Here, you're going to go to ASIN view and select the product that you want to do this with. And this should be the product that's going to be, it should be your highest selling product. It should be whatever product is getting the most searches. Then you're going to go to monthly view, select the most recent calendar month, which in this live session we're doing is January of 2025. So the most recent fully completed month. Hit apply. And then Amazon gives you this chart, right? But the data that we want is not here, but it is calculatable from the data that is here. So what we have to do is process the data a little bit. And this literally only takes like 3 to 5 minutes. So you hit generate download that data, open download manager, and then you have to wait for it to come in. And now I'm going to switch over to another screen here. You're going to go open a Google Sheet, click import, and then import the data that you just downloaded. I'm waiting for it to download, and it takes a while. So that you guys don't have to wait. I've already done it. So it's here. So this is what the data looks like when you import it into a Google Sheet. And this is where we're going to mine out the data that we can use to steal the sales that would have gone to our competitors and redirect them to our listing. And by the way, I'm going to show you guys examples of how we do this and that we've actually done it. I'll show you some real examples of us doing this with products. But first, I'm going to finish showing you how to do it. So what you have here is a bunch of keywords. And Amazon has actually ordered them in the proper order. They use something called the search query score. That's a mix of the volume of the keyword and the relevance to your product of that keyword. And so you actually want to keep it in this order because Amazon does a pretty good job. And this is like from top down, a pretty good prioritized list of the keywords to work on. Then over here, you have the total volume of searches, and this is yearly. Or no. This is for the period that we just inputted. So we input a month. So this is actually monthly. Then this is the impressions over that period. So right now we're just looking at January 2025. So we have the total number of searches, the total number of impressions. Then we have the number of brand volume impressions and the number of total clicks and the number of brand clicks. So if you're starting to get what we're looking at here, we have the total searches of the whole space for that keyword, and then the total impressions, and then we have the brand impressions. Then we have the same thing for clicks, then we have the same thing for purchases. So now I know for each of these keywords, how many clicks I got, how many clicks there were total, how many purchases I got, how many purchases there were total, how many impressions I got, and how many impressions there were total. So what we're going to do is back calculate the specific click-through rate and specific conversion rate for each and every one of these keywords. And to do that, all we have to do is take the total number of clicks divided by the total number of impressions. And then we take our number of clicks, brand count clicks, and divide it by brand count of impressions. And I hope I'm not losing you guys. Those of you that are sticking in this are about to get a gold mine that's going to completely change your business if you actually implement it on all your ASINs. So that you don't have to boringly watch through me doing this, I've created these columns already. So you guys can do this on your own. If you get stuck, you can always message in. I actually have a video tutorial on how to do this that walks through it like step by step. But that's literally what we're doing now. So you shouldn't get stuck. But if you do, you can just email me. I'll give you the email at the end of this, and I can send you back that video. So you can watch the replay of this. So I've done this already. So now I have my click-through rate and the market conversion rate. My click-through rate and the market click-through rate, my conversion rate and the market conversion rate. Those of you who've been selling for a while, you already know how powerful this is. Like if you haven't done this before, but you have been selling for a while, you're looking at this now already going, holy smokes, this is incredible. Because what this is telling us is exactly what search intent is not clicking with our thumbnail and exactly what search intent is not clicking with our listing. So what this is basically a roadmap. This is showing us Amazon now is like with this data, if we process it like this, we add these 4 columns, Amazon is now telling us exactly what to do to divert clicks away from our competitors and to our thumbnail, and divert sales away from our competitors' listings and to our listings. So let's go through some examples of this. So let's look at silicone spatula set, the number 1. So my click-through rate, 1.4%. The market click-through rate is 1.6%. Now, that doesn't seem like a huge difference, but actually it's pretty significant. That's like a 15% relative difference. My conversion rate is 10%. The market conversion rate is 11.7%. So again, that's a nearly 20% relative difference. So since I know this is a super important term, what's different about this term? The fact that it has this word set. That's what's different. So something is not clear enough in my thumbnail or in my listing that this is a set that includes everything you need, not just the spatula itself. Let's look at another one, jar. So this one, my click-through rate is 3.8%. The market click-through rate is 1.8%. So we're crushing it on this. My conversion rate is 9%. The market conversion rate is 11%. So this means we're attracting way more clicks, but for some reason, once they get to our listing, we're attracting lower than average conversions. So something here needs to change on the listing so that all of these people who were excited and thought we were super relevant for their search term won't land on the listing and be disappointed. Something is not connecting with this word jar on the listing. So the thumbnail is fine. We don't have to worry about that at all. Unlike, the set term. But for this particular intent, people that want to use it for a jar, the listing is what needs to change. So now we know exactly what to do, right? We're going to add more jar imagery, more jar use cases to the secondary images, to the A+ content, maybe even try to make sure that that appears in the top voted reviews on the listing. For example, all of that stuff will affect this and get more of this traffic that we're already getting to convert. Now let's look at another one. This one is interesting. So this one that includes the word heat resistance, our click-through rate is nearly half of the market click-through rate, even though this is a super important term for us and it's really high volume. The conversion rate, however, is higher than the market. So once they get to the listing, they're going to buy because we are beating the market conversion rate by a significant margin. But for whatever reason, they're not clicking. So what does this mean? It means super easy way for us to get more sales instantly is just change the primary image to cater to these people who care about heat resistance. So I happen to know this brand already has it in the title. So that would be the first thing I would do is put that word closer to the beginning of the title. This has already been done. The next thing that needs to be done is hypothesize what things could change about that primary image that would visually show this concept of heat resistance. So maybe it's red glowy lines coming off of it, or maybe it's it being close to a hot object like an oven or something like that. You come up with a few hypotheses, split test, run Amazon experiments, and it'll be very clear and we can get that number up. And since this is a high volume keyword, just increasing this by a fraction of a percent actually has a 20 to 30% relative increase in our sales from that keyword. And if this keyword is really high volume, that could be a 5 to 10% increase in sales overall, or even more. So what you do is go through each of these terms just like I'm doing now. And you don't have to go too far down because it's already prioritized for you. So the top 20 is really what you want to focus on. And figure out what's the issue. Is the issue the thumbnail or is the issue the listing for that particular search intent, like set or for a jar or people that care about heat resistance or pots. For you, you're going to find different things. It might be people buying it for mom, or this is a gift, or I'm worried about the quantity, like 90 capsules or 60 capsules, or I'm worried about the delivery, like is it a powder or is it a capsule? Or I have different words for the same thing, like box versus bag. You're going to come up with your own hypotheses by analyzing your own data. And by the way, I would do this on your top selling product first, because that's going to have the highest impact on your revenue when you make these changes. So that's how you come up with your hypotheses. So go through these one by one. And then you're going to, on a separate notepad or a Notion or a note-taking software or whatever on your phone even, write down what your hypothesis is on why either the thumbnail or the listing is not converting for that particular search intent. Then come up with ideas for experiments to run to change that, to improve it. So like I was talking about, the red lines for the heat resistant, showing that it's a set for the set. For the jar, having more jar imagery in the A+ content, you come up with your hypotheses for that and then execute them on your listing. And here's what it looks like once you've done that. So in this case, we're able to find out that, so this is a wooden bookshelf for kids, right? looking at this data, the hypothesis was if a kid was actually in the image and it was being shown using kids' books, it would be more clear to people that this is something for kids and for kids' books, children's books. And guess what? The effect on the click-through rate was dramatic. So it nearly tripled. It went from around 1% to, so it actually more than tripled. It went to 3.6% at its peak. And then here it's down only because it's out of stock. But this had a dramatic impact on the amount of sales that the brand was getting. And not only that, but it was profitable sales because we got 3 times the amount of clicks to the listing. 3 times the amount of clicks to the listing. Imagine tripling the amount of traffic going to your listing. Like if you're getting 200 sessions a day, imagine tomorrow you started getting 600 sessions a day. That would 3x your sales, assuming that the conversion rate was the same, right? So this can have a huge impact on your sales. I said in the beginning of this presentation, 10 to 40%, because that's average. But if you find super key golden nugget insights, you can have like multiples of your current sales just by implementing these things. Here's another example. The click-through rate didn't triple in this case, but it increased by 50%. So, it increased by 66%. So you can see the click-through rate before was 1.5%. The click-through rate after was 2.5%. That's a 66% relative increase in traffic, i.e. a 66% increase in sales. But the profit actually increases by a lot more because you're getting this traffic without paying for it. So there's no additional PPC spend. There's no additional spend for outside traffic or anything. You're just getting more of the clicks that were already going to somebody else and diverting them to you. So it's not paid. So your revenue might go up by 66% in this case, but the profit may go up by a much larger margin. It might go up by 100%, for example, because a lot more of that new revenue is not paid for. You're just getting it from clicks that were already happening to somebody else. And so what was the change in this case? Well, you could see the terms that were uncovered were relating to gift, were relating to relaxation, because instead of the candle being shown with a top on it, it's now lit. There's flowers sitting around it. We have the box, it's actually opened, so it shows it on the box, and a number of other things, that the bow here, that make it clear that it can be used for a gift, that make it clear that it's relaxation, and make some of the products more clear as well. So these insights, you could think of these things on your own, but having the actual data from Amazon that just tells you exactly what the problem is and how to solve it is like 1,000 times more effective than you just trying to come up with random ideas from your own head of what might work to get more traffic. So you might think this change, it doesn't look that dramatic, like it's all the same stuff that's still in there. But these insights on what might have an impact, you can only get by looking at that data. So what kinds of things can you change to get more traffic? Here's some ideas. And by the way, Amazon's guidelines, their official guidelines for the primary image are the product solo by itself on a white background. That's Amazon's guidelines. But that being said, Amazon themselves, you'll notice if you search Amazon's own brands, they will violate those guidelines in certain scenarios. As long as you're not deceiving the shopper, making it look like something is included that isn't included, or making it look bigger than it really is, or anything like that, Amazon is not going to dock you. We do a lot of split tests, and as long as you're giving them more information and better information to make an informed decision, and you're not trying to deceive the shopper, Amazon is fine with it. So here's some things you can do. Adding the customer avatar into the image, or just adding a hand. This is also very common, adding a hand using the image to using the product to the image. Adding the primary use case. Adding a visual representation of the ingredients. This is great for supplements or consumables. Showing the product alongside the packaging, or if you're already showing the packaging in a different way, like we did here. Adding a metric. And by the way, this can't be like photoshopped onto it. This would have to be in the packaging or on the packaging that's shown. So this could be like the total number of sheets included, or the total number of times you can use it, or the total number of stress that it can take. You know, we have this brand that sells bike water bottle holders. Adding colors, circles, variations. So showing that there's other options in the primary image. This can be super powerful. Adding more angles, showing the product in action. And I'm going to show you guys some examples of all these things. So here's the before and after for this product. It's just went from showing like the product being installed. Like, it's very difficult to show what this product is. It's basically like these brackets that allow you to make shelves, versus us having a band around the product that has text that's in line with the primary search terms and showing what's included. Here's one where we use this packaging strategy to add a banner label. So this is the before image. That's just the journal itself. This is a journal. And here's, or the meal planner fitness tracker journal. And here is the after image, where we were able to add some of the primary keywords to the label banner. And this is a great way to put keywords into the primary image, because people look at the image before they look at the title. So if somebody looks at your image and right next to it is an image of your competitor, and yours has the exact same thing they searched written right on the image, and your competitor doesn't, guess who they're going to click? You. And if it's down to you versus them, you want to get the clicks, right? So making changes like this, it can not just increase your clicks by 5% or 10%, it can increase it by 50%, 100%, 300%. It can be incredible changes that you get from implementing these changes. Having the product on a model instead of by itself. Having the product rendered instead of real. So this is really interesting. Sometimes for products like this, a rendered image can look more real and better quality than a real image. It's really weird and really strange, but a lot of times this works great. Okay, this is the brand I was actually talking about before, that has a bike water bottle holder. So all we did to improve the click-through rate of this is add the variations into the primary image so that it's clear to the shopper that black is not the only option when they click this thumbnail, that they could get red or they could get orange. So if they're shopping for an orange bike or a blue bike or a red bike, they'll still click our listing, whereas before they would only click it if they wanted black. This makes it clear that other variations are inside that listing without them having to click in to check. Okay, this is a way to use Photoshop to visually show what the product does. So before, it would be just these little LEDs, and in a photo, you can't see LEDs lit or what they're actually doing. But this is actually showing that it is using UV light to disinfect retainers and mouth guards and stuff like that, using a photoshopped version to show the action of the product. And again, we're not deceiving the shopper in any way by adding these effects, right? We're actually helping them by showing them what it really does. So even though this isn't fully in line with Amazon's guidelines of the product by itself with no editing on a white background, what this does is it actually helps the shopper make an informed decision, because otherwise they wouldn't know what these little squares are. But this effect helps them to understand that these are LEDs that emit UV light. Multiple angles. So showing the product in different angles in the same image. This is a really fun one. This one is really fun. So this product, this is great. This is a product that holds a pie, right? And it's a bag that you can like stack your pies in. And all we changed on this was the color of the pie. So when the pie is not included, that's obvious, right? People are searching for pie holder or pie box or whatever. They know that they're not going to get a pie in the mail. So we just went from a key lime pie, which honestly I would prefer, to a strawberry pie. And what's the difference here? Why would this one get more clicks? Because it's bright red colors. This sounds so stupid and so like kindergarten, but you'd be amazed how much a change in color can change the effect of the number of clicks that you get. This is, I mentioned the brand Zesty Paws before, founded by AJ Patel, a former client of mine. This is one of the big things that they did. All of their packaging was this bright neon orange, and they made it a cylinder, which looked at from the side is a square. So it took up the entire image with this bright orange color, and they just raked in the clicks. Just no one could compete because your eye naturally gravitated to them, and then you read what they have to say, and then you end up clicking. So these little changes can make a really big impact, actually. Then the packaging, this also is an example of showing a hand. So I could just show this with both wine bottles already in it, barely sticking out, but it actually shows it in action if I add the hand in there and somebody pulling a wine bottle out. Okay, this is an example of having the packaging, showing everything that's included if there's a kit. This is really important with kits. And that is pretty much all the examples I think I prepared for you guys. So we could jump to the discussion section part of this, and I'll stop screen sharing.
Yes, let's do it. So I like when you bring visual examples. It makes very clear what you're talking about. Yes. So we have a
better
question
than just looking at numbers, right?
Yeah, we have a question from Deep Patience. I don't know how it's related to what you talked, but I tried to read few times. Maybe you will understand. Friend purchased pandemic-related product, but Amazon suppresses those keywords. Next highest keyword is detox, but this product can work with one. Like maybe cannot work with detox. So leave detox out of the title, put pandemic backend. I asked for clarification, and this person says basically the friend purchased a product that helps with lingering symptoms, but Amazon suppresses all those keywords, which he didn't know at the time. Next keyword has detox in it. Can COVID be backend keywords? Should we avoid detox in title?
Yeah. So this is something that it's pretty frustrating, but Amazon's restricted terms are not published. So they don't publicly publish their restricted terms. You just find out by getting restricted. It's pretty annoying. We actually keep an internal list inside Sophie Society so that we can check for our portfolio of brands. But what you have to do is just stay away from those terms altogether. Otherwise, you put yourself at risk of being suspended. Not the whole account, but the listing will be suspended. So what you have to do is basically say it in another way. So the product that D is talking about is a product that helps you with long COVID. It sounds like it's like the symptoms like after COVID, and Amazon restricts any terms that have pandemic or anything related to that in it. So what you have to do is focus on the benefits and what people are going to be searching in order to get that result. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other terms besides the pandemic and detox related terms that you can put in there. Do the exact search that I just did using search query performance and look through those terms and see which ones you want to go really deep on. It'll be the ones that have significant relevance, that have a good amount of traffic, and go hard on those terms. Put them at the very beginning of your title. Whatever the intent is behind the term, find a visual way to describe that and put that in the primary image in the listing and just go deep on it.
Okay, we have another question from Nicola. I can't see brand count in the document I downloaded.
You probably haven't downloaded the comprehensive view. So there's two ways to download simple view and comprehensive view. But no, I believe simple view has it as well. Check the time range that you have. If you don't have enough data, that could be a reason. But also, if it's not working, it might just be that there's not enough sales for that particular ASIN that you're looking at. Try not specifying an ASIN. Go over to brand view and download the terms for your whole brand instead of the ASIN specific one. And then click comprehensive when you're downloading the report. And you'll know which search terms are relating to which products because you know your brand. And that way you'll definitely get all of the data that you need because it's all compiled.
All right, thank you. I have a question. When you check all the numbers again, how often do you like how to see that changes are implemented are working? Like how often to check all these stats?
Yeah, it depends on how much traffic the listing gets because you need statistically significant data. So if you're only getting like 10 sessions a day because your product is just, in the gutter, you're not gonna know for a while if this is actually working. This is why I said to do it for your highest volume product, the highest selling product that you have. Do it for that first because you're going to get the data back very quickly. If I'm getting 500, 600 sessions a day, I'm going to know within 2 or 3 days what the click-through rate has changed. And by a week, I'm for sure going to know because I'm going to have 7 days worth of data at 500, 600 sessions a day, and many more impressions, like maybe 5,000 impressions. And I'll know for sure with all those impressions and all those sessions, I'll know within a week. So it depends on the total traffic of the listing, but generally you're going to know within a few days, max 2 weeks.
All right. I have another question. Are there specific product categories where this approach works best, or maybe it's effective everywhere in any niche?
So it is effective in every niche. The only thing is, if it's a high price product, you're going to get less total purchases to be able to get the data from the conversion rate side. You'll still get plenty of data from the click-through rate side because there are just more impressions and more clicks than there are purchases by an order of magnitude, right? But the conversion rate side, you just have to wait longer for the data to come in because high-priced products, they're purchased less frequently at the same amount of revenue. If I'm selling something for $200 and you're selling something for $20, you're going to get, and we're doing the same amount of revenue, you get 10 times the number of sales that I do for any given period, right? So I need to just wait longer to get statistically significant data about conversion, but it works on everything. And by the way, for high price products, there's a totally different hack that we go really deep into in our profitable PPC challenge, which is happening next month. So anybody that does have high price products, that's a whole different thing. Maybe we'll do a webinar on that too, Augustus. I don't know, but that's a really cool one that we use internally.
So yeah, let's talk about the PPC challenge. Tell us more.
Yeah, so twice a year, we basically like open the kimono and we allow 6 groups of 60 sellers each to come in, basically like come into our ecosystem for 5 days. And if they can commit to showing up every day, we promise to revolutionize their ability to profit with their Amazon PPC. So every day, we put each person in a group with an 8-to-1 mentor to participant ratio or participant to mentor ratio. So it's literally like any mastermind you find, it's going to be 10 times that ratio. There's like one mentor for every 80 participants or every 80 members. We have literally one mentor for every 8 participants. So everyone gets personalized attention. It's really actually hard on my team because I take my whole team and they all become mentors. These are the guys with millions of dollars of ad spend monthly under their belt. And they come in and they are the guys actually doing it with brands at every scale in every category. So you come in with whatever PPC problem that you're having, or it can be not PPC related, but it's affecting your PPC. And we make sure that you get your problem solved, or at least get you on track to solving your problem by the end of these 5 days. It is intense. Every day you have to commit to actually showing up because we only have a set number of seats. We have 6 groups of 60. And already 3 of our groups are completely filled out, and the 4th one is filling out right now. So if you can't, this isn't something to do if you think you might show up. It's only something to do if you're committed to making your Amazon PPC actually profitable. You're committed to showing up every day. You're committed to engaging with my team and engaging with all of the mentors that you have and the other sellers in your group. and making your PPC actually profitable. So it's happening on March 17th. March 17th through March 21st is the next one. And then it won't happen again until September of this year. We only do it live. It's not recorded. The recordings are not sent out. It's not posted publicly. It's only something that we do with a group of sellers who are totally committed to this, who want to be actively engaged and are willing to actually take action. So it's really for what I said in the beginning of this session, where like 80 to 90% of people watching this session right now are going to see it, but not actually do it. But 10 to 20% of you, and you know who you are, I'm talking to just you guys, the 10 to 20% of you are action takers, and you're super willful and super driven, and you want to make your PPC profitable if it's currently not profitable, and you want to make it more profitable if it is profitable. Those, you guys should be in this. And by the way, it's not costly. It costs $47. That's it. It's very inexpensive. And so it's literally the cost of Uber Eats. And the only reason I can provide all of these resources and the time of all of my guys and stuff for $47 is because, and I'm totally transparent with this, is because I know a certain portion of people who join the challenge are going to end up becoming my Sophie partners. So that's the only reason I'm able to do this for so inexpensive. If this was my actual business running events, I would charge more than 10 times this. I would charge between $500 and $1,000 for a ticket for this. But I can do it because I know that off the back end, some people are going to end up becoming partners, and that's much more valuable to me. So that's the only reason why this is this cheap. If you found this type of resource anywhere else, look at any high ticket mastermind inside our space, any kind of course or community like this, it's going to be around 20 times the cost. So I highly recommend, if you're watching this and you are one of those action takers and you're really interested in solving your PPC problems, you should join. Like, we're here for you. Come on in. You're our people. Come in and do it.
Yes, great. And link you will find in the description. And I just showed the page, how it looks like. And yeah, there is a reason why you're repeating it every half a year, because it's successful and people get results. It's probably like 6th or something PPC challenge, right?
This is fun. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Cool. And I see Yarvin is asking, what is more important, ACOS or TACOS when profitability is in account?
TACOS is more important, by far and away. TACOS is like the number one metric of every Amazon brand's PPC, because TACOS is your advertising spend divided by your total sales, whereas ACOS is your advertising spend divided by your advertising sales, your sales from advertising. So what TACOS does is it takes into account organic ranking results from your PPC. And a lot of your PPC spend is for the purpose of gaining the sales velocity that leads to organic ranking. So if you just look at ACOS, your ACOS might be high, but the brand as a whole is still really profitable because you focus a lot on ranking campaigns. So if you focus on ACOS, you might have lowered those prematurely, even though those campaigns were generating ranking results. So TACOS is the number one metric by far.
All right. Thank you. Andy Dekke says thank you. And I think, yeah, it was great. Great session as always. Thank you very much, Chris. And by the way, you said you will share your email if people want to get a recording of how to do stuff.
Yes.
Import, export.
Yeah, the email is hello@sophiesociety.com. Maybe we could put it in the description as well. If you just email hello@sophiesociety.com, we can message you the that tutorial that walks through, the step-by-step of how to process the data. There it is. Yes.
All right. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. That's lots of good information. Thank you very much, Chris. And those who want to join the PPC challenge this time, don't forget to check the link below in the description.
Thanks, Augustus. This was awesome. Loved it.
Thank you, Chris. See you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. See you next time, brother. Bye.
Sorry. Yeah, bye. Bye, Chris. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video where you will learn six quick strategies which will help you to supercharge your PPC on Amazon, your Amazon advertising campaigns and whatever you do there. So check this out.